Good morning, it's AniKaspar. It is 9:43 a.m. on 4/30/2017. I guess it's May Day tomorrow. That's probably why I've been so prepared with radiation or what. It's got to be because I'm sick as hell. If it's just acoustics, well, that probably makes you sick as hell too. No, these guys are evil here. Let me tell you a little bit about Sarasota. Dear Catherine Harris, who installed George Bush Jr. as president in 2000, is from this county. This is the county also that was originally founded, not completely by, but pretty strongly by Ringling Brothers Circus, which was a renowned torturer of animals back in the day. And I'm sure they were really lovely too, but I have a feeling that a traveling carny situation was a lot more damaging to animals than it was positive for them. And then, of course, there's the fact that our dear ex-president, George Bush Jr., was here reading to the some schoolroom class of children some book when 9/11 occurred, a very carefully orchestrated, we're now learning, directed energy event. And the book was upside down, which is a clear indication of the left-hand path or of inversion or a Satanist affiliation. Now, that's all conspiracy theory, or so I'm told, and I usually don't spout such things, but it's very unusual that I would come to a place of this beauty and be this tortured since I've been here. I won't go into it, but the level of listing and its subsequent horrors here, especially since Donald Trump was installed in office, has been off the map. And of course, when I went public on January 18th, on behalf of my community and myself, after having yet more money robbed from my person by my criminal government. So I just want to say to my community, guys, I really need you to be there for me right now. And that means I need to be out of the United States, if possible, as immediately as possible. And I'm going to need to be financially supported as I file with The Hague, the International Criminal Court, because my evidence over a 6-year period is so outrageous and so consistent and so, it's the only place where this can go. And I'm sure by broadcasting this, I will be, further targeted, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I don't care, because I choose not to live in a world where you are tortured if you are a person of talent. I choose not to live in a world where you are tortured if you speak the truth. I choose not to live in a world where you are tortured because you're a woman. I choose not to live in the world where you are tortured because you're a minority. I choose not to live in a world that is completely inverted. My life prior to 1997 even was a magnificently beautiful thing. And with my standing up to Wall Street, which was most necessary, not just because I was a woman and women were getting hammered, but because the inherent criminality of it was such that it was really clear that the firms chose the stupidest and the most loyal males to place in power, so that they basically just followed orders, which included gutting the American economy, gutting the strongest housing market in the history of the world, and basically gutting Americans hook, line, and sinker, which is exactly what's happened since the mid-90s. I choose not to live in a world where, when I ask for my human, civil, and constitutional rights, ask for something very diplomatically, very appropriately, very sweetly, I instead get bombarded with whatever this stuff is, directed energy weapons. I know I'm incredibly sick, and I also know it's going to be incredibly difficult for me to travel because I'm so sick. I also know it's not a fluke that my flight for tomorrow I was not able to take it because I'm too ill. But I'm working on changing all that, and very rapidly. I do choose to live in a world where there is integrity, there is honor, there is honesty, there is truth, there is compassion, there is joy, there is bliss, there is simpatico, there is synergy, there is magic, there are miracles, there is the full force of Source in its greatest glory. And even though I know that even this is Source in its greatest glory, it's not my road in any way, shape, or form. And it's not, it was a road that was chosen for me and was fostered upon me for 20 years. These guys have done everything in their power to create an alternative timeline of my life that has nothing to do with who I am. So I choose to live in a world where no one would ever think about that because the people who in power in that world are not clinically insane. Because that's what this is. These are clinically insane people. And of course, in their wild, wild, wild delusional paranoia, because that's what they suffer from for sure, they project it on those innocents who simply stand up and say, you know what? There's such a better way to do this. There's so much happiness, so much joy, so much health, so much abundance, so much love. You've got this backwards, elite. The world I choose to live in is the one I'm going to. And with your help, I'm going to be there and I'm going to take very good care of me first and do the best I can do to protect the innocents of this world who have been forced into a world that nobody I know wants to live in. Thank you for all of your support and love to date. Please do contribute to Annie Rising and Justice Rising, whatever you're able to contribute. Because of the work I've done on behalf of the TI community, I'm in this position, that's for sure. So I would appreciate greatly your appreciation of my efforts to date and the suffering that I've had to endure for 3 months because I did stand up. I can be reached if you have words of support or ideas at 941-356-8007 or at AniKaspar, ANIKASPAR @gmail.com. Blessings this Sunday, and I will be continuing to record and do sworn testimonies like all the time until I get out of here so that we have even more evidence for these. I don't know even what, criminals doesn't fit, monsters doesn't fit, creatures doesn't fit. I don't know. The soulless, that fits. The hollowed ones, the walking dead. That's it. The people who do this are the walking dead. Blessings. From a not walking, but very much alive still.